eat healthy, you exercise regularly, you sleep just fine. So why do your muscles still feel weaker with each passing year? If you're over 60 and starting to notice that you're walking slower, feeling less steady, or losing energy after doing even simple things, it might not be that you're doing something wrong. The real issue could be this: you're eating at the wrong time. Yes, timing is the key. And today, I'm going to share something most people don't know. If you give your body the right kind of protein in the right form and at the right time, you can actually slow down or even reverse age-related muscle loss. And the best part, you can start doing it tonight. It may sound like a big deal, but the solution is beautifully simple. No fancy protein powders, no expensive gym equipment, no strict diets. What I'm about to share is real food, easy to find, easy to eat. And it actually contains more leucine than eggs. And if you've never heard of something called mTOR, it's the master switch in your body that controls muscle building. This food helps turn that switch on naturally, safely, and most effectively while you sleep. We'll get into that more in a moment. But let's start with something familiar. If you ask most people what food is high in protein, they'll probably say eggs, and they'd be right. Eggs are a fantastic food, affordable, nutritious, and easy to absorb. One large egg gives you around 6 grams of high-quality protein, including all the essential amino acids. But here's what many folks don't know. There's another food, soft, white, and smooth, that most people think of as diet food. But in truth, it's one of the best nighttime proteins you can eat. Before we dive into this powerful food, take a second to like, share, and subscribe to my Senior Health Roots channel. And if you don't mind, leave your age in the comments so I can tailor these videos to serve you even better. The food I'm talking about here is cottage cheese. Are you familiar with it? Just half a cup of low-fat cottage cheese gives you around 14 grams of protein. That's more than you'd get from 2 whole eggs. And here's what makes it special. Most of that protein comes from casein, a slow-digesting type of protein. And this changes everything. You see, when you sleep, your body enters a long fasting state, usually 8 to 10 hours without eating. During that time, if your body doesn't have enough amino acids available, it starts breaking down muscle tissue for energy. It's a quiet process, but one that speeds up after age 30 and picks up even more rapidly after 60. This is where casein becomes so important. Unlike whey or egg protein, which absorb quickly, casein digests, slowly releasing amino acids gradually into your bloodstream for 6 to 7 hours. It's like giving your muscles a slow, steady infusion of natural fuel all night long. This helps protect, repair, and rebuild muscle tissue while you sleep. Eggs are excellent too, but their fast-absorbing protein is better suited to post-exercise recovery, not overnight muscle protection. So if your goal is to preserve muscle, keep your legs strong, and wake up feeling more alert, don't just think about gym workouts or a healthy breakfast. Start with dinner. And cottage cheese, this often overlooked food, might just be your quiet but powerful ally in preventing muscle loss overnight. In fact, a 2012 study published in Medicine and Science in Sports and Exercise showed something very clear. When participants consumed 40 grams of casein protein right before bed, they experienced significantly greater muscle protein synthesis during the night compared to those who ate nothing at all. This means that by simply adding one small meal before bedtime with the right type of protein, you can help prevent the silent muscle loss that happens every night. And in recent years, science has continued to support this. A 2019 study published in the journal Nutrients also confirmed that taking protein before sleep can significantly improve muscle mass and strength, especially in older adults. So this cottage cheese we've been talking about, it's not just a snack. It's a strategic tool because of timing. When you eat it about 30 to 60 minutes before bed, you help your body shift from a state of muscle breakdown into one of repair and rebuilding. If you want a simple way to try this, just take half to 1 cup of low-fat cottage cheese. That gives you around 14 to 28 grams of protein. You can mix in a dash of cinnamon, a few walnuts, or a small spoonful of raw honey if you'd like a bit more flavor, but still easy on digestion. The best time to eat it is about 30 to 60 minutes before bed, especially after a busy day or following light exercise. Now, a lot of people ask, what if I'm lactose intolerant? That's a great question, because today there are plenty of lactose-free cottage cheese options available. Or you could choose casein isolate powder, which is still casein, but easier on the stomach and more digestible. The key isn't just how much protein you eat. What matters more is what kind you eat and when. Cottage cheese isn't some trendy superfood. It works because it matches the natural rhythm of your body at night, from digestion to repair and muscle regeneration. Now imagine this: inside your body, there's a special switch. When flipped on, it tells your muscles, it's time to grow, time to recover, time to get strong. That switch is real, and it has a name: mTOR. mTOR is one of the most powerful biological mechanisms in your body for muscle building. But here's the challenge: as we age, that switch gets sluggish. It responds more slowly. It becomes harder to activate. That's why if you only eat your protein in the daytime or follow your old eating habits, it might not be enough to trigger muscle repair. You could be eating well, but still losing strength quietly, little by little. The good news is, you can wake mTOR back up. And sometimes, all it takes is a smart little evening meal like a cup of cottage cheese before bed. It's a simple act backed by science that helps flip your body's recovery switch, turning on the process that restores and protects your muscles while you sleep. And to truly flip the switch on mTOR, your body needs to reach a certain threshold of a specific amino acid called leucine. Leucine is a branched-chain amino acid, or BCAA. You can think of it like the foreman on a construction site. You might have all the materials ready, that's your protein. But without the foreman giving the orders, nothing happens. Without enough leucine, your body doesn't get the message to start building muscle. But once you hit about 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine in a single meal, it sends a strong signal telling your muscle cells, let's get to work. So what does this have to do with cottage cheese, the fresh white cheese we've been talking about? The good news is cottage cheese isn't just high in protein, it's also packed with leucine, the amino acid that acts as the muscle-building foreman. One small cup of low-fat cottage cheese provides about 2.6 grams of leucine, which is enough to reach the activation threshold for mTOR in most older adults. In other words, this isn't just a light bedtime snack, it's a smart, science-backed way to support muscle recovery while you sleep. A study published in the Journal of Nutrition in 2006 showed that meals high in leucine increased muscle protein synthesis by up to 25% compared to meals with the same amount of protein, but less leucine. Another clinical trial in clinical nutrition in 2011 found that adding extra leucine helped older adults improve both muscle mass and strength, even if they didn't change their exercise routine. So the problem as we age isn't just about getting enough protein, it's about getting the right kind with enough leucine and consuming it at the right time. That's why I recommend something I call the leucine threshold protocol. It's a simple, practical strategy you can start right at home. At each meal, aim to get 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine, enough to send a strong signal to your muscles that it's time to grow and repair. For example, 1 small cup of low-fat cottage cheese, plus about 140 grams or 5 ounces of chicken breast will do the trick. Or if you prefer shakes, 2.5 scoops of a high-quality whey protein powder works too. Hitting that leucine threshold is like flipping a switch inside your body. It tells your muscles, stay strong, rebuild, keep going. And the beauty is, you don't need fancy supplements or extreme diets to do it. Just the right food at the right time. Don't try to squeeze all your protein into just one big meal. Instead, spread it out across 3 to 4 meals a day, making sure each one contains enough leucine. This approach doesn't just feed your muscles evenly throughout the day, it also improves how well your body absorbs and uses that protein. Remember, you don't need to eat more, just eat smarter. And sometimes the difference between waking up weak or waking up strong the next morning comes down to something as simple as a small cup of cottage cheese at the right time. Many people think building muscle is just about staying steady on your feet or lifting heavier things. But the real benefit of maintaining strong muscle after 60 goes much deeper. It supports your mental clarity, your emotional balance, and your overall mood. Recent studies have shown that strong muscles don't just make daily movement easier, they directly support brain health and emotional well-being. In fact, having more muscle is linked to better insulin sensitivity, lower inflammation throughout the body, and an increase in something called BDNF, a natural brain fertilizer that helps protect and regenerate brain cells. On the flip side, as muscle mass declines, especially after age 60, your risk of memory loss, emotional instability, and even depression rises. So building and preserving muscle isn't just about body shape. It's about staying sharp and emotionally steady as the years go by. Here's something most people don't realize. As you age, the mTOR system, your body's internal muscle-building switch, starts to slow down. That's why older adults actually need more protein and more leucine per meal to trigger the same muscle-building response they used to get at a younger age. That doesn't mean you need to eat like you're 25 again. It simply means you need to eat smarter at the right time and choose the right kinds of food that match the needs of your body at this stage in life. The truth is, muscles aren't built from protein quantity alone. What really activates them is the right kind of protein. And leucine is the #1 key to making that happen. Many people think muscle loss only happens because of aging or a lack of exercise. But there's one deeper cause that often gets overlooked: eating protein at the wrong time. Our bodies run on a finely tuned internal clock, a biological rhythm that controls more than just sleep or energy. It also affects how our cells respond to nutrition. The process of building muscle, called muscle protein synthesis, doesn't happen all day long. It peaks during a few specific golden windows. Those moments are after exercise in the morning, and especially during sleep. If you miss protein during these key times, or rely only on fast-digesting protein, your body may shift into breaking down muscle rather than building it. Unfortunately, most people, especially older adults, tend to eat the most protein at dinner time and very little in the morning or before bed. This means muscles often miss the signal and the materials they need to recover and grow. A major scientific review published in 2020 in the Journal of Nutrition highlighted something many people never consider. If you eat most of your protein at dinner and skip it in the morning, your body can't use that protein effectively to build muscle. On the other hand, people who spread their protein evenly across 3 to 4 meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, had significantly better long-term muscle synthesis. It's not about eating more protein, it's about eating it at the right time. And here's another important point. When you eat protein before bed, especially slow-digesting proteins like casein, you're helping your body make the most of the natural recovery window at night. That's when growth hormone peaks and your body shifts into repair mode, healing tissue, restoring function, and strengthening memory. A 2015 study published in Frontiers in Nutrition found that older adults who took protein before sleep increased their muscle protein synthesis by up to 22% and improved strength significantly after 12 weeks, even with only light exercise. Another study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition took it further. Participants who consumed 30 to 40 grams of casein protein before bed gained more lean muscle mass, even though both groups ate the exact same amount of protein throughout the day. Put simply, it's not just how much protein you eat, it's when you eat it. This is a very simple strategy you can start tonight, called the 3 protein timing strategy. First, try to get about 20 to 40 grams of protein at each main meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Don't let breakfast be just toast or a glass of juice. Your body needs protein early in the day to kickstart the muscle repair process. Second, add a small, high-quality protein snack before bed. For example, half a cup of low-fat cottage cheese or a shake with about 30 grams of casein protein. It works quietly overnight, like a supply station feeding your muscles as you sleep. Third, if you're doing any kind of physical activity, even just a brisk walk or some light stretches, try to eat protein within 2 hours after exercise and ideally within an hour after waking up. And if you happen to work out in the evening, even better. In that case, having protein before bed becomes even more important. You're syncing your muscle-building signals from exercise with your body's natural nighttime recovery rhythm. That means you're maximizing tissue repair through both movement and rest with just one simple step in your meal plan. When you get your protein timing right, it's not just your muscles that benefit. Balanced protein intake also helps stabilize blood sugar, reduce post-meal fatigue, and support dopamine production, a brain chemical that helps with clear thinking and a sense of well-being. This is where eating stops being just habit and becomes a purposeful strategy that aligns with how your body actually works. Because remember, this strength isn't just built in the gym, it's reinforced at the kitchen table and it's protected while you sleep. Muscles aren't just about strength. In modern neuroscience, muscle is often called medicine for the brain, and that's not a metaphor. Every time you move your muscles, even just walking, stretching, or doing a few light exercises, those muscle fibers release tiny molecules called myokines. Some of these, like irisin, travel throughout your body and directly influence the brain. Irisin has the remarkable ability to stimulate the brain to produce a very special factor called BDNF, short for brain-derived neurotrophic factor. You can think of BDNF as fertilizer for the brain. It helps nerve cells grow, connect more efficiently, and support better memory, sharper focus, and even improved mood. That's why every time you eat enough protein and move your body even just a little, you're not just protecting your legs. You're feeding your spirit, lowering stress, and helping your brain run smoother. A study published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism found that older adults with less muscle mass tended to have higher levels of depression even when they were otherwise active. Another study in Neurology 2022 showed that people who maintained good muscle mass in middle age had a significantly lower risk of dementia later in life. One reason for this is that muscle helps the body process insulin better. That means more stable blood sugar and fewer sharp spikes or drops that can cause brain fog, irritability, or trouble concentrating. That's why many people say that after they move their bodies and eat enough protein, they feel clearer, calmer, and more focused. And there's one more role muscles play. They act as a shield against low-grade chronic inflammation, a condition known as inflammaging. It's a slow, silent inflammation that builds up over time and contributes to issues like chronic pain, memory problems, and even heart disease. But here's the good news: you don't need to lift heavy weights or run marathons to fight it off. With a balanced diet, especially one that includes leucine-rich protein like cottage cheese, and a few light movements each day, you can lower inflammation markers like CRP and IL-6 and start feeling better day by day. There's a dual strategy I often recommend to my older patients, something incredibly simple, but very powerful. It's designed to protect the two things that matter most after age 60: muscle strength and mental clarity. This strategy includes 4 key elements. First, make sure you eat enough protein and spread it out throughout the day, rather than loading it all into one large dinner. And especially don't skip that light protein snack before bed. Second, aim to do some strength training 2 to 4 times a week. You don't need a gym. A simple resistance band or basic bodyweight movements are more than enough to maintain strength. Third, try to walk every day between 7,000 and 10,000 steps. That steady movement helps your body constantly release myokines, the molecules that benefit both your muscles and your brain. Finally, get enough sleep and hydration. Two things often overlooked, but absolutely essential for both physical and mental recovery. Now here's the part few people realize: not all proteins are created equal. They differ in amino acid quality and, most importantly, in how fast they're digested. This is key when it comes to preserving muscle, especially during long periods when you're not eating, like while you sleep. Fast digesting proteins like whey or eggs are fantastic after workouts when your body needs amino acids quickly to kick off the recovery process. But at night, when you're heading into 7 to 9 hours of sleep and you won't be eating anything, your body needs a more sustained source of protein. That's where casein shines. Casein is a slow-digesting protein, and it's the main component in a familiar food, cottage cheese. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition back in 1997, still cited to this day, showed the clear difference between whey and casein. Whey causes a quick spike in amino acid levels in the blood, but it doesn't last long. Casein, on the other hand, delivers a steady extended release of amino acids, greatly reducing muscle breakdown for hours while you sleep. Imagine your body as a car traveling a long road at night. Whey protein is like a quick fuel upgrade for bursts of speed. But casein is like having a backup fuel tank. It helps you go farther more steadily without running out of fuel halfway through the journey. When you sleep, your body goes without nutrients for 8 to 10 hours. If you go to bed without any kind of reserve, your body may start pulling energy from your muscle tissue. This is especially true if you skip meals, follow a restrictive diet, or are under ongoing stress, because cortisol, the stress hormone, tends to break down muscle when it stays elevated. In those situations, slow-digesting protein like casein works like a safety net. It helps maintain a steady stream of amino acids in your blood. This keeps your muscles from breaking down and even supports the rebuilding process while you're fast asleep. We've now reached a key point in the journey to preserving muscle digestive timing strategy. This isn't complicated, but it has a powerful impact on how your body protects and restores muscle every day. In the morning or after a workout, your body acts like a dry sponge ready to soak up protein quickly. That's when fast-digesting proteins like eggs or chicken breast are most useful. They hit your bloodstream fast, kick off recovery, and start filling in what was broken down during physical activity. But at night, or during long periods without eating, your body doesn't need a fast flood of nutrients. It needs a steady trickle. That's when you turn to foods like cottage cheese or Greek yogurt, both rich in casein. Casein digests slowly, releasing amino acids gradually over 6 to 8 hours, like a gentle IV drip for your muscles while you sleep. Want to boost the effect even more? Pair your casein with a little healthy fat or fiber, like a few walnuts, a spoonful of almond butter, or a slice of apple. This slows digestion even further, increases satiety, and supports sustained absorption through the night. Think of it this way. If you eat dinner at 7 p.m. and don't eat again until 9 a.m., the next morning, you've just gone through a 14-hour fast. During that time, if your body doesn't have anything to work with, it may start pulling protein from your muscles to use as fuel. That's exactly why a 30-gram casein shake, or even half a cup of cottage cheese before bed, can be one of the smallest but most powerful moves you make to protect yourself from this silent muscle breakdown. And this isn't guesswork, it's proven science. After age 30, we start losing muscle about 3 to 8% per decade. After age 60, that rate increases even more. And this isn't just about whether your arms or legs look toned. Losing muscle means losing strength, increasing your risk of falls, slowing down metabolism, and in many cases, even contributing to memory loss and cognitive decline. But here's the good news. This process is completely reversible. You don't need to become an athlete. You don't need expensive powders or trendy diets. What you need is a simple, realistic strategy, one that works with how your body actually functions. And you can start it tonight. with a spoonful of cottage cheese and a little bit of commitment. Here's the most important thing I want you to remember. Muscle loss with age is not inevitable, and it's certainly not a life sentence for your health. You can reverse it. No marathons, no 6 days a week gym schedule, and definitely no miracle powders or fad supplements. All you need is a clear, repeatable routine built on how your body truly works, not hype, not guesswork. Just a formula you can follow every day to protect and even rebuild your strength. We call it the Daily Strength Protocol. It starts with protein timing. Instead of eating all your protein in one big meal, spread it across 3 to 4 meals a day, aiming for 30 to 40 grams of protein at each one. Focus on complete leucine-rich proteins like eggs, chicken fish, cottage cheese, Greek yogurt, or high-quality whey protein. These are your high-grade building blocks for restoring muscle. Before bed, have a 30-gram serving of casein protein or around 1 cup of low-fat cottage cheese. This is your slow-digesting protein. It will quietly nourish your muscles all night long, right when your body's natural recovery process is at its strongest. Each main meal should include around 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine. That's the threshold needed to activate mTOR, the switch that tells your body to start building muscle. You can hit that target with about 140 grams of chicken breast, 1 cup of cottage cheese, or 2.5 scoops of quality whey protein. When it comes to movement, you don't have to train like an athlete, but you do need to build strength 3 to 4 times a week. That could mean resistance bands, light dumbbells, or even just using your own body weight. Focus on compound movements, like standing up from a chair, lifting your arms with a water bottle, or stepping up onto a stair. Work until you're almost tired, but don't push past your limits. Consistency matters far more than intensity. And every day, try to move for at least 30 minutes. Take a walk, do some gardening, tidy up around the house, or simply go up and down the stairs a few times a day. These daily movements wake up your muscle-building signals and activate your nervous system. Sleep is just as important. Aim for 7 to 9 hours every night. Turn off screens and bright lights at least an hour before bed. If you struggle with sleep, try magnesium glycinate or a few minutes of deep breathing. Those simple tools can make a big difference. One more thing, beware of the muscle thieves. Ultra-processed foods, alcohol, and long days sitting still can quietly steal your strength. And if you're trying to lose weight, remember not to overdo cardio. Too much of it without enough protein or resistance training can lead to even more muscle loss. Finally, don't underestimate chronic stress. Lingering stress raises cortisol levels, and that stress hormone breaks down muscle over time. Find ways to lower it through gentle movement, quality sleep, and spending time with loved ones. Now, I'm not saying all this to overwhelm you. I'm saying it so you know the truth. Your body wants to help you. It just needs the right signals. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to stick with the right process, one small step every day. Because in the end, your muscle is what keeps you standing strong. It keeps your back straight, your knees steady, your mind clear, and your life more independent for longer. You don't lose muscle just because you age. You lose it because you stop giving your body a reason to hold on to it. And now you do have the tools. You do have the plan. And you can do the most important thing, keep your body and mind strong, even as the years go by. We began this journey with a simple idea that there's a real food richer in protein than eggs that can quietly protect your muscles every night and change the way you age from the inside out. But as we went deeper, we discovered something even more powerful. This isn't just about protein. It's about the ability to stand up from a chair on your own, walk up the stairs without help, take care of yourself without waiting on someone else. It's about having a clear mind, a steady mood, and waking up in the morning without pain or fatigue, ready to live the day fully. And that's exactly why what you just learned really matters. Let me help you recap a few key points to remember. Cottage cheese isn't just a snack. It's a powerful tool for muscle support packed with slow digesting. Let me help you recap casein and the right amount of leucine to trigger muscle building signals while you sleep. Muscle gain doesn't happen by accident. It happens when you send the right signals with the right nutrients at the right times. And leucine is the key that flips the mTOR switch, the body's master control for rebuilding and strengthening your muscles. If you don't eat enough leucine and you don't time it right, your body simply can't do the work. You could eat clean, sleep well, and still slowly lose strength if the signals aren't there. Timing is just as important as quantity. So space out your protein evenly through the day, morning, midday, and evening, and don't skip that small, casein-rich bite before bed. That's the window when your body heals the most. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button. It really helps me and the team continue to create even better, more useful content. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so every week you get another simple tool to help you live strong, live well, and stay independent. I'd love to hear your story. Have you tried cottage cheese before bed? How many meals are you eating a day? What are your biggest challenges when it comes to staying strong? Please leave a comment below. I read them all, and I learned just as much from you as you do from me. Thank you so much for spending your time here today. And remember this, you are never too old to get stronger. I'll see you in the next video, as you do.